Meow, 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 everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. I want you to spare me a few minutes. I want to talk to you about Chainlink. First of all, I'm not an Elliott wave expert by any means, but I do dabble in it sometimes when I see fit, when I see something that could potentially fit as a pattern. I do try to dabble in it a little bit. Right now, I do see a potential 5 wave up for Chainlink. This is a 2 week chart of Chainlink, and what you can see right now, in general, on a bull market, there is a lot of potential for the bull market to follow a 5 wave form here. Now, the idea is that you generally have a wave one that get the bull market started, and then after bull market started, the wave one generally get exhausted. You're going to have a little bit of a wave two correction, and wave three is really where the bulk of the bull market is really going to be. And wave three is generally going to be the longest wave of them all, and usually it's the most powerful, followed by a wave four correction, and then around wave four and wave five, generally that's when people look for exit liquidity to try to look for an exit. And wave five generally is shorter, and there's a possibility that when they're really trying to look for exit liquidity, it can potentially end up getting truncated. But generally, wave three is the most powerful, and I think there's a potential we might be starting wave three soon, perhaps over the next month or two, is my best guess based on looking at, although Elliott wave theory is just a theory, and it is drawn here by me based on a lot of the Fibonacci sequence that I do see over here. Fibonacci sequence, I basically drew from 1 over here, which is going to be the last cycle high, to 0, which is going to be the cycle low. And based on this, I do think that right now it basically just got rejected over here. The 0.382 is basically trying to find some support underneath over here. And eventually, once the support is being found, I do think that it's a possibility it's going to follow these kind of Fibonacci levels, which I think has been very important. Even during this bull market, it's been getting rejected here for months, like for a couple of months over here at the 0.236. So I think it's probably going to end up riding the Fibonacci levels to go up. Potentially with wave three, depends on how powerful it is, could that potentially even push up to 1.618. When it gets there, it could backtest the previous high, and that could be wave four, and then it could end up having a little bit of a exhausted wave five to go up, maybe into 2.618. So I actually think that a 3-digit chain link is possible during this cycle. I think a lot of people think that that idea is kind of crazy, but I'm actually, I actually think it's possible. So I'm gonna get rid of these kind of Elliott wave kind of thing here. I do want to show you a couple of other indicators to kind of show you what I'm thinking. The first I'm going to show you is going to be the monthly well fund flow. I think it's very important to visualize in terms of seeing what it's doing. What it's doing right now is you actually have a lot of significant inflow, even though price really had gone down a lot from the 0.382 rejection. You continue to have increasing well fund flow, and over here the wells really haven't left. And I think this, anything, just a healthy correction for the wave one completion, and right now this is just basically forming a wave two, with the well fund flow is still very, very positive. So that actually is a pretty decent setup for it to continue to consolidate over here until whenever it's ready to go to wave three. I think that's surprising a lot of people there. A couple other indicators I always show is going to be the Ichimoku cloud. You can see you had a bullish cross over here between the Tenkan and the Kijun. Tenkan is the blue line, Kijun is the red line. Bullish cross generally tells you that, hey, wave one is done. We're basically going to back test this down here a little bit, and the month of April went below both of those, but so far I think we're really trying to bounce back about. We were trying to get the Tenkan hopefully to flip that from resistance back to support before allowing price to kind of go up higher, based on Tenkan kind of help push price higher. The fact that there's a bullish crossover here is promising. Also the fact that so far this is an April monthly candle. I mean, May really only has like 3 days or 4 days of worth of price action, but so far it's looking like it might be forming a little bit of a tweezer kind of bottom of here, which is generally pretty good bottoms, if it ends up being this way, right? I can potentially see May kind of a little bit lackluster and just kind of maybe at least hopefully close above the Tenkan Kijun, at least flip that back from resistance, because we had a breakdown here in April. Hopefully we're able to kind of flip that from resistance back into support, and then to challenge the cloud. Once you break through the cloud, it could potentially go up a lot higher to potentially, to this previous um, all-time high, as well as go up even a little bit higher than that. Um, there are some pretty bullish indication here on the monthly, and then even with the 2-week chart, you can see that it had broken inside the Ichimoku cloud over here, and it's just been kind of going sideways inside Ichimoku cloud, kind of back testing the Tenkan and also the Kijun down here. It's still a very, very bullish 2-week trend. There's still a very nice separation here between the Tenkan and Kijun, and they really had this bullish cross a long time ago, back in October, right? So far the 2-week chart is very favorable. If you look at the weekly chart, it's also very favorable too, because all it's doing right now is just push through the cloud, and it's basically, I don't think it's necessarily going to have to back test over here, but it's basically just doing a little bit of a cool down here, right? If you look at the monthly Bollinger Band, it tells you an exact picture in terms of what it's been doing. Price closed above the upper Bollinger Band for about 5 months in a row, actually, and it's just too far too fast. April is basically to punish all those things, all those people that end up buying up here, because obviously this is not sustainable. And this correction candle is needed, and right now I think we already had the correction candle with 21 moving averages pointing up. There's a clear trend change from bearish to bullish, and right now you have a little bit of a contraction on the Bollinger Band, but I think once we're done with consolidation over here, once the wells are done accumulating, and once the technicals are done resetting itself, I think it's probably going to get a pretty impulsive price up. And when that happens, I think the Bollinger Band is going to end up going down to the floor down here, and the Bollinger Band is going to continue to ride up, allowing price to go a lot higher. I mean, obviously, it's hard for me to tell you. It's still a little bit of a speculation on my part, but again, the trend is bullish here, and that's subjective. If you look at the weekly chart, if you just want to pull up some of the moving averages here, right now it's just kind of hugging and rising. 50-week moving average kind of pointing up, 20 above 50 above 100 weekly moving average. This is still a bull trend. That bull trend just started a few months ago. The other thing to really pay attention here would be to try to see if there's any bullish momentum that are being carried through here that are maybe perhaps hidden, right? One way to look at that is look at RSI. You can see that initially, this actually looks very similar to Clean Spark. Initially, you have a little bit of a bearish divergence over here on the weekly, and the bearish divergence right here is already played out. What I meant by bearish divergence was, when price just kind of go up like this, right? And you end up RSI having to go down like that. That's a bearish divergence, and that has already worked out, right? You already had a down leg. So that bearish divergence is already played out. So what is left right here? You actually end up leaving with, some bullish divergences over here. This is a hidden bullish divergence because price went up a little bit, while RSI really had reset it all the way from 80 down to the 40s. I think it's ready to run again because the RSI has really been completely resetted. The other thing to look into whether or not there's any momentum shift here. And again, that was just showing that there's going to be some, bullish momentum is going to come. Another way to kind of look at it is to look at the trend wave oscillator. This is very, very drastic actually. Price went all the way from down here in the sixes. Now currently it's double the price, right? Actually a little bit more double. But if you look at a trend wave oscillator, you're actually going to see that the bottom over here has completely resetted. This is also a very, very much a very, very strong hidden bullish divergence. And I think we're actually going to end up building a lot of positive energy. It's going to end up pushing price up a lot higher. And I do think that this really does look like an Elliott wave, wave 1 over here with subwave 1, 3, and 5. And right now we've gone through, the ABC correction. I think we're getting ready to run. But that's just obviously, Elliott waves is always a little bit speculative. There's a lot of bullish momentum that's behind this. And I just kind of drew in terms of what I think my target would be, which is a potential triple-digit chain link. So anyway, it's been close to 10 minutes. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.